Welcome. We continue. So we're looking at transformations, or common known as rates. We have been given this example and we know how to answer transformations in the instructions. So we'll go straight into the questions. So question 1 is saying it hardly rains in the desert. Provide a question tag. So a question tag, we can't say it, then we put direct question tag, meaning for us to put a question tag we need to write a sentence, then we put a question tag at the end of a sentence. So we're going to say it, we're going to write the way it is. It hardly rains in the desert. Then we put full stop, question mark. We put the comma, then we add to say does it, then we put the question mark. So this is now a question tag because we are asking. A question tag suggests that you provide a sentence that will come in form of a question. So does it. Number 2, Chanda had a health problem, noted Aunt Linda, and she needs specialist attention. So if you look at this sentence, we have these which are called the speech tags or the quotation marks. So quotation marks are only used to indicate the words that someone has produced or the words that someone speaks. So Aunt Linda said in other way, Chanda has a health problem. Then again, Aunt Linda said she needs a specialist. So when a question comes like this, all the transformations which you write, you are going to find that there will be one question that will come from reported speech in direct speech. So this one is in direct speech. We need to write into a reported speech. So whenever you're writing a sentence from the direct speech to a reported speech, you need to avoid the repetition of writing the speech tags or the quotation marks. So Aunt Linda said, now we are going to say, they are saying write in reported speech. So Aunt Linda noted. What did Aunt Linda note? So we'll say now, Aunt Linda noted. So she noted that Chanda had a health problem, and that she needed a specialist. She needed a specialist attention. Full stop. So Aunt Linda noted that this person had a health problem. Remember, direct speech, whenever you're writing a reported speech, you need to transform from the present tense into the past tense. So Aunt Linda noted that Chanda had, not Chanda has, because she noted in the past. So Chanda had a health problem and that she needed a specialist attention. So this person was reporting maybe to people about the condition which she witnessed. So to report that, she needs to say what she saw. So that becomes now a past tense. Number 3, crop yields are often poor since the area experiences drought. Crop yields, yield means production or produce. Crop yields are often poor since the area experiences drought. So owing the statement is starting with owing. So owing is a preposition phrase, which means because of. Owing, it's a preposition which talks about because of. So because of something, you find that the production or the crops which were being harvested was not enough because of something which happened. This is the reason why we are saying because of. So we're going to say owing to frequent drought, frequent droughts, then you put a comma, the area often or often has poor crop yield. Crop yield. All right. So owing to frequent droughts, comma, the area often has poor crop yields. So all we are saying uh, because of, because of. So frequent, because of frequent drought, the area experienced poor yield of crops. All right, so question 4. After he was convinced that his learners had understood the lesson, comma, Mr. Perry left the class. So this person was convinced, and because of that, the person left the class. So after he was convinced that the learners had understood, then this person left the class. So having what? So having convinced himself, having convinced himself. So we are saying having convinced himself because this person was convinced before leaving the classroom. So having convinced himself that the learners had understood, that the learners had understood then the lesson, had understood the lesson, then we put comma. This person, Mr. Peary, left the class. Now there's something here which you need to understand. Let's take, for example, you omit to write a comma and you just go direct. It means you have failed to separate two things which are happening. As a result, the answer will be wrong. So having convinced himself that I have thought, so having convinced himself that the learners had understood the lesson, then what followed that is that this person left the classroom. Question 5. All the girls are beautiful. All the girls are beautiful. Then the word none talks about you're not choosing anything. You're not choosing anything. None. So all the girls are beautiful. So if you're saying all the girls are beautiful, there's no one who is ugly. So what are you going to say? We're going to say none of the girls. So none, there's none already. None of the girls are ugly. Or put ugly. You can't put beautiful here. The moment you're going to put beautiful here, it means that you are saying no one is beautiful. So if you start with none, you need to write the opposite of that word which you're talking about. So none of the girls are ugly or is ugly. So is or are, all the prepositions are correct. So this means that all are beautiful. None is ugly. All are beautiful. Question 6. He was very skillful. Full stop. He scored 3 goals in one match. He was very skillful. He scored 3 goals in one match. So dash 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 dash, that is scored 3 goals in one match. So for us to write the first part of the sentence, to rewrite this one, we'll just say he was so skillful. He was so skillful that he scored 3 goals in one match. Number 7, Mr. Movita was surprised that his sister visited him at a time he least expected. Mr. Movita was surprised that his sister visited him at a time he least expected. All right. So we'll say now, to his great surprise, because he was surprised, because the time the sister came, this is the time he least expected. So to his great surprise, to his great, like an emphasis, to his great surprise, then we put a comma. His sister visited him. So his sister visited him. His sister visited him at a time he least expected. He least expected. So to his great surprise, his sister visited him at a time he least expected. I will not do the work unless you ask John to help me. So this question is coming from conditional sentences. So we are saying, I will not do the work unless you ask John to help me. So there is a condition there for someone to do the work, for this person to do the work. There was a condition which was attached to that. So in our answer, they are saying provided. Provided what? So to help to understand this one, we are saying provided you ask John to help me, comma, I will do the work. Because there is a condition for this person to do the work, John must help. So provided you ask John to help, comma, I will do the work. So we'll say provided you ask John, provided you ask John to help me, you put a comma, I will do the work. I will do the work. I will do the work there. All right. So provided you ask John to help me, comma, I will do the work. All right, the ninth one, we are saying teachers blame learners for poor results at grade 12. Teachers blame learners for poor results at grade 12. Learners. So it's teachers who are blaming learners for the poor result at grade 12. So these learners are the ones who are blamed by a certain group of people who are mentioned in the statement. So for us to answer this one, we'll say learners are blamed by teachers for poor result at grade 12. So learners are blamed by teachers for poor results at grade 12. So teachers blame learners for poor results at grade 12. Learners are blamed by teachers for poor result at grade 12. No comma, just a full stop. The last one, sugar prices will go up sharply. Sugar prices will go up sharply next week. Full stop. That is unavoidable. That is unavoidable. So for us to answer this one, what are we going to say? The statement starts with that sugar prices will go up. That sugar prices, sugar prices will go up sharply next week is unavoidable. We'll just try to reverse it, the sentence. That then, so we get with this one. We start with this one. So that, here you have that. Then you start sugar prices will go up sharply. Will go up sharply next week. Will go up sharply next week. Then we'll say is an not this an is unavoidable. Avoidable. All right. So that sugar prices will go up next week, go up sharply next week is unavoidable. So that is how we needed to answer these transformations.